love. And I think the hallmark for a fatherless daughter is you just want to feel loved and you want to make sure no one's going to re-abandon you. So what happens is a fatherless daughter will start to understand that she can't run from it. It'll keep coming up in her life. And everything that she forced underground because the people around her did will come up usually in the mid to late 20s in the form of a relationship where the fear of re-abandonment is imminent.
So my question to you is, I think there's a lot of fathers who are going to be listening to this and they're going to say to themselves, it's going to scare them a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's for a lot of us, and I'll say all of us, especially those of us who have daughters. I was talking to my dad about this. It's not necessarily black and white. Like I know that I'm in my daughter's life. I'm present in my daughter's life. And a lot of guys might feel that same way. But there's probably a spectrum, of presence and impact that we're having with our daughters. Can you talk a little bit about to them, to the men, and the research that you've done and the experiences that you've had with other women as to how we can move along that spectrum to being more involved and more present as they get older? It's easier, like the guy we were just talking to on the last episode, when they're 5 years old, holding their hand, when they're 8 years old, taking them on princess dates. But as they get older and wanting to keep that connection so that they don't feel like they have an emptiness or a hole in their relationship with their father, help us with that.
Yeah, you may or may not like my response. Okay. First of all, I love men. I have a great husband who's a great, has a daughter and a son and does a great job. I'm very proactive in men being in their daughters' lives. It's as basic as this. Whatever attention that you would give a woman, you give to your daughter. So you just are there. You're present. You give eye contact and you know what's going on in her world. You may not know she got in an argument with her best friend at school, but you know enough to say something's off. Let me check in with you. And then if she doesn't want to tell you or she's embarrassed or whatever, that's fine. But she just needs to know you're there. So what I would say is if you have a young daughter, a girl will do just like an older woman. A girl will say when they're feeling anxiety or they're having pressures, my stomach hurts. Just like an adult woman will say, my head hurts. And a lot of times for a younger girl, it's just because they can't articulate the emotions they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So if she isolates herself or checks out emotionally, go check on her. It's the same way as if your wife is upset with you and she goes for a drive or she shuts her door and watches a movie. You just go back in and you check on her. That's it.
I really like that, because I don't have daughters, I have two sons, but from what I've heard from other fathers and seen in my work is that the presence of the father in the child's life, and as you said before, Dina, the emotional connectedness, the concern, the being there, asking for questions, the empathy, that affirms who she is. And there's something about that affirmation from that male in her life, the father figure, that really just sort of strengthens her self-esteem, I think.